Hello, guys. Today I am reviewing Point Break 2, the remake of Point Break. The reason I'm doing this video is because I was very excited about this movie coming out, and I looked at the reviews from on YouTube or whatnot, and basically, I've seen a lot of people that really maybe not even big fans of the original Point Break, and basically most of these YouTube channels, their job or what they do is just review movies and criticize the hell out of them. So, being that I'm a big fan of the original Point Break, I probably watched this movie over 100 times, 5 times in theater when it first came out, another time, maybe one time it was released, and I had it on video. So I watched, and now I have it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. And I watched it probably in the '90s over 100 times. Now, this is one of the movies that made me actually go out and surf. I used to be a body surfer, and just watch this movie just represented so much to me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's so many fans of Point Break, the original one. However, it's actually not that easy to run into one in real life. But I was surprised with all the buzz that went out about the new Point Break. How many people actually came across that actually do uh, started talking, actually saying like a lot of great stuff about the original movie, even though maybe they're not big fans of the movie. But however, all um, the new reviews about the new Point Break, they're all very negative. Everybody's saying why they call it Point Break. It's a ripoff of Fast and Furious, which is Fast and Furious is a ripoff of the original Point Break, and there's nothing wrong with repeating a similar plot. We watch movie to enjoy it, and sometimes there is something that comes out of it that's emotional or spiritual or some value that we get out. Now, me as a big fan of the original Point Break, I wish there was like a Point Break to watch or so. I always wanted to watch this movie. The reason I watch this movie so many times is just like it's that kind of movie that just like if you love it, you're just gonna watch it over and over. There's it was so well done, and I always wanted more. I wanted more Point Break. I wanted more of Utah. I wanted more of Bodie and the gang and everybody and Gary, and Angelo Pappas and the FBI agent and um, their boss, and all the characters were very well played in this movie. Tyler, of course, Lori Pitty, and but then here we go. I mean, finally, for the last few years, they've been talking about making a remake of Point Break or Point Break Two, whatever. Some plans were going, but then they didn't make it. But then now they finally a group. They got together and they said, okay, they actually got it together. They did the casting. They tried to look at the story and tried to make it, a little different. Now, a lot of people say, why do you call it Point Break? There's like, it's not just about surfing. Yeah, we know Point Break is a surf term, right? It's where where the waves break, at a certain beach or so, and that's why it was, related to the movie. It was like, how they found the surfers by finding what beach they surf at, from the hair sample, the toxic waste in the water and whatnot. And, that's how they find a break that they surf, So um, now the new movie has wingsuits flying. It has, there's also skydiving. There is um, snowboarding, surfing, um, and people say, "Oh, why do they call it Point Break?" Well, you should have called it something else. Well, they're gonna call it something else. I mean, they're just because they're being really straightforward with the fans of Point Break. They say, "Listen, we are remaking Point Break. We're not gonna call it the Fast and the Furious and put cars in it, or like extreme sport break or something." It is there. It's I believe it's maybe in respect to the original movie. Yeah, which is nothing going to replace the original Point Break. It is what it is. Now, making a new one on a bigger scale with new was more sports. Yeah, the world communication, everything has changed. The political view, our like social network, and all that stuff now today, we have more access to what goes around the world more than what we had in the early '90s. So basically, the actors in this movie, they're fans of the original Point Break. Uh, Edgar Ramirez is a great actor. As far as I've seen, I have not seen him act, but I've heard a lot about him. I've seen some of the roles that he has a movie called The Liberator or so, and so he's kind of like tried to carry this kind of spiritual message in his roles. Luke Bracey, who plays Utah, he has a movie that came out maybe about a year ago or so, uh, where he plays a cop, like a CIA agent or something, or some sort of a special agent, trying to hunt um, the man who was actually training him, uh, played by that British actor, I think, James Bond guy. Anyway, Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. So here's the thing: for the new movie, the new Point Break, all these people that are giving a bad review, you really need to lay off. You're reviewing the trailer like if you're already seen the movie. You pick it on a line when he says, um, "I think the guys doing these robberies are like me, extreme athletes." Okay, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's such a cheesy line or whatever." Yeah, you know what? In a trailer, maybe this line maybe should not have been in that trailer. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe it will make sense once you watch a movie. Maybe it will. In the original movie, Utah was not a surfer. I don't think he was actually like even drawn to the ocean in any way. He just played that as a line to get himself to catch these guys, right? The robbers. He was a football player. Um, he joined the FBI, and there is a line in the movie when he goes, "Hey, do you think the FBI is going to pay me to learn to surf?" So obviously he was not interested into surfing, right? So he just like got into it because he was doing his job, and now he started catching the spirit of it, and he got into it. Now here's the thing: in the second Point Break, it's not that way, and people just need to understand that. In the second Point Break, Johnny Utah is a surfer. He's an extreme athlete to begin with, and he's an FBI agent. Now, he happens to come across that case where the clues coming from the way these robberies are happening give him the hint that these guys are extreme athletes. So when he comes and say a line, I think these guys are like me, extreme athletes. Now, he's showing that he knows something, or he noticed something that maybe the rest have not noticed or thought about. You know, um, like the other agents or so. So you need to lay off this. Don't pick every little thing and try to find something negative in it. I am personally very excited about this movie. Um, Even though if it's not as good as the original Point Break, I would be so happy just to go and watch, you know, how like a group of fans of the original Point Break said, "Listen, let's go and try to film this movie again. See if we can make it any better." You know what? Even if it like had the worst reviews in the world, I would still go and watch that movie because I am a fan of the original one. I'm not expecting everybody to like be like, "Oh wow, look." Like a lot of you, most of you said that. They said, "Hey, if this movie was not called Point Break, oh, it would have been a great action movie." Okay? All right, just forget that it's called Point Break. Okay, just go and watch the movie and just like enjoy it. You know, don't find the negative to actually make a bomb out of it. Just enjoy it. Hello, guys. My name is Khaled. I'm a big Point Break fan, and I'm making this video because I was very excited about the new Point Break coming out, and I saw the trailer, and I think it looks amazing. And I saw also the trailer with the director and actors' comments, and it's all really made a lot of sense to me. Now, I am a big fan of the original Point Break, and I probably watched that movie more than anybody. I mean, I probably watched it about 100 times. Um, I used to be, it's because of this movie I now surf, obviously, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's so many of us. Um, the original movie also, I mean, it created a cult, even though that we don't run into each other that much, I mean, I know a lot of surfers that actually have not watched Point Break, the original one, but there are some of us that are really a big fan of the original one. Now, saying that, since the original Point Break, I always wanted to see a second Point Break. I just wanted more Utah. I wanted more uh, Bodhi. I just wanted more of it. It was such a great movie. And for me, I mean, I guess like it's too bad that like, it looks like Bodhi dies at the end of the first one, and that kills it. And I was like, what's next now? I mean, Bodhi, he was a spirit in the movie of freedom, and Johnny Utah was pretty much the spirit of following your passion, or sort of setting yourself free, pretty much. I mean, regardless of the bank robberies or the wrongdoing or whatnot, robbing banks to go surf and skydive and all that stuff. You know, yeah, yeah. But I mean, you have to watch the movie to understand and catch the whole spiritual thing about it. Now, let's go to the second one. All right. So, a lot of the people reviewing, the reason I'm making this video is that a lot of people reviewing that trailer, they're actually talking like they already watched the movie. Um, they're finding everything wrong possible with the trailer to say it's wrong, and it's like you all sound exactly alike. You know, I sense from what you guys are, from your reviews, that you have not watched. You maybe watched the first Point Break, but you don't understand what it's about, or maybe you don't. Maybe it's better not saying that you don't understand. You're not a fan of the movie to begin with, and um, I don't expect you. I mean, you just review movies for a living or something. That's what you do. You're sitting on your front of your camera all day, watching trailers, reviewing movies, finding what's wrong with it, and this way people can listen to you. And all the people that's like gonna hate, they want to hate. Whatever. You're haters, so you're gonna hate. I understand. No, listen. I understand this. Um, yeah. Listen. Do I know much about movies? No, I don't know much about movies. I only know what I like. Let's just say that. So. I do like Point Break. I like Strange Days. Um, Catherine Bigelow. I did not even her name didn't come up to me until like in the last couple of years. I mean, I knew I liked Point Break and I loved it. I know I love Strange Days, and accidentally a few years ago I heard that Catherine Bigelow is the one that directed both of them. Then she won Oscars for the Hurt Locker. I was like, what? Okay, I haven't even watched Hurt Locker yet, but the guy who actually directed the second Point Break is he's the guy that directed the first Fast and the Furious. What makes me actually feel weird about that is that the first Fast and Furious was a rip of the original Point Break. Now people saying, you reviewers saying, professional reviewers I guess, are saying that uh, Point Break is ripping off the Fast and the Furious, which is completely wrong. Get your facts correct. Um, now this is the thing about the second Point Break. Okay, everybody's against like Hollywood remakes, yet they still go see them and they sometimes like them. Okay, especially the one that go to the movie and they don't want to like it, but they do end up liking it. I've seen guys that went to watch The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino. These guys hated Keanu Reeves. They came back to the end, they're like, man, I hate Keanu Reeves. He's such a horrible actor, but he's so good in this movie. So if he is so good in this movie, why is he a horrible actor? Give me a freaking break. So stop reviewing Point Break 2 as you already seen it. You already seen a trailer, and in the trailer with with the comments from the director and actors, and the action scene, experts, you can see that these people have put, like, a lot of effort into making this movie. Now, I would give some respect to that. Now it comes across from the trailer that a lot of these guys actually are fans of the original Point Break. You know, so if you're a fan of something and you actually work in the film industry and you're actually gonna go and make and do a remake, I think you're gonna try your best to do it as best as it can possibly go. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of brains being, like, picked around how to make this movie better. Okay, I'd like you, Mr. Reviewer, uh, critical, to go and tell me how you're gonna make this one. You can't. The criminals also, but somehow we're supposed to like them because in the first movie we're supposed to like them. We did like them. So all I'm gonna say is that look on the positive side. I personally think this movie is gonna be amazing. Um, I think that what when I went to watch the first Point Break, I remember I went to just watch a little bit of, like, there's some surfing, there's somebody jumping out of a plane or whatever. I did not expect that for me the movie, the Point Break, the first one, the movie ended three times and then it just kept going. I don't remember where the first ending was, but I know that when I'm not gonna get into the detail of that. You have to watch it. You'll see. If you never watched it before, you probably get the three endings that I'm talking about. Um, but here it is. I think that movie is probably gonna have some twisting facts and, like, plots that we are not ready for, not aware for, and not aware of, and I think it's gonna be great. You just guys have to wait and see. I cannot wait to see this movie. Um, it's gonna be very exciting, and a lot of people are gonna go and start watching the old Point Break and compare it. I'm sure, um, and I feel, which I could be wrong, I feel that a lot of people that like the old Point Break are gonna just like the new Point Break as much. If you're a big fan, I think they're going to, even if it sucked. Okay, and you know why? Because you just have to give it to. I kind of have faith in the actors and directors of this movie. These guys did not come from nowhere. These guys are surfers. They're big fans of the original Point Break, and I'm sure when they deliver this movie to us, I think we're gonna see something that's incredible. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say for today, and thank you very much. And to all the fans of Point Break, there, I just wanted to know there's one more person right here that is not critical of that trailer and who cannot wait to see it, and very excited about this movie. Thank you for the remake, and I look forward to seeing it. Cheers.